Hey there, all you intelligent people, you brave people. If you're listening to me, I know you're brave and intelligent. So, um, I, how do I want to babble this out? Um, Respect. How's that? Respect. Um, I have respect for the few, and you are the few. Um, so, um, I feel good for so many reasons. So many reasons. On a on physically, mentally, spiritually, I am feeling better than I have in a long time. And um, I've been taking in content. I've been taking in content as I do, um, believing nothing, believing nothing, and also not believing. I'm not going to believe, and I'm not going to not believe. I'm going to take in the content. I'm going to apply critical thinking. Um some things get to marinate. Wait for more corroboration, so forth. But in the process of taking in the content and applying critical thinking, um, what thoughts develop in between these ears and behind these eyes. That's uh, that's the result. That's the result. So it's fluid. It's dynamic. It's ever going. So I've been kind of chomping at the bit that I want to be live again on YouTube and Rumble, but wasn't really feeling it. And I mean, I was feeling it, but I wasn't there. So it kind of accumulated, and so here I am. Here I am, and so what are some of the things that are making me feel good? Well, I'm puff off the cigarette here. I let it go out. You see that? I'm doing such a poor job of long exercise. Um, uh, yeah, I've been taking in a lot of content, and the the content that's coming out, um, according to the Postmaster General of the world, Chief. I affectionately refer to him as Rusty. Respectfully refer to him as Rusty. Rusty has been putting out some content, and a couple of points that I'll um, bring forward here is, according to Rusty, with regards to Rusty says, with regards to the content that's coming out, and he made a blanket statement, but he kind of put it into context when he said people talking about who shot who and this and that and blah blah blah. Basically, most everything that's coming out of mainstream and alt media. Um, Rusty claims the only things you're being allowed to hear is what military intelligence and CIA are allowing. Um, Now, that is also right in line with Q. That's right in line with the messaging from Q. So, this is more formation of position that supports a mostly covert military operation. And so we think about psychological warfare, fifth generation warfare, 5D chest with a couple of the boards that have skirting around it. You don't even get to see the players, kind of shit. You know, pretty deep, pretty intense. If you get that far. So now I don't believe, and I don't not believe, but I and trust must be earned. Trust must be earned. Blindly trusting is what got us into the mess that we're in. So I have yet to see Rusty be discredited for all his statements, claims, works. I have yet to see that discredited. Only attacked. Only attacked. So what he's saying about the only thing you're getting exposure to is what military intelligence and CIA is allowing. That resonates with me. It is in line um, with the other signs. Yeah, I think that's the best way to say it. Um, so from let's jump over to the Supreme Court decision here, um, which is rogue, which is fiction. However, fiction is in the process of eating fiction, according to Rusty, and so I think this irrelevant decision from the Supreme Court fits right in. It fits right in. So uh, the face of the military operation, the Trump, has been trying to get the National Guard into Chicago to aid ICE and and immigration issue and deal with immigration issues. But Pritzker's over there uh, putting up a big old fuss, right? So this elevates in the narrative, and it gets to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court comes back to say that they're supporting Pritzker's position that the Trump the Trump the face of the military operation in the acting capacity of a president in pure fiction form cannot send a National Guard into Illinois until after regular forces prove to be ineffective. Ah, uh, so uh, so rather than all these um, oh, I could almost call them cadets in comparison to veterans, combat veterans, uh, special forces. Um, so get ready. Uh, get ready. Buckle up. Buckle up, Buttercup. Um, very interesting to see how that one's going to play out. But for me, I got a I got 114 hertz vibration going off of that. So let's move over to vibrational energy. Let's move over to vibrational energy. I can't tell if I see a green dot on this little screen or not. There is, and there's 4 people here. Hello, 4 people. You brave, intelligent people. Uh, Modi Cool says, Postmaster General of the Universe. Yes, Trump took us into goddamn authoritarian dictatorship. Well, I don't know that there is a Trump. I do not know. All the facts point to there was no Biden. There was no Biden. And the Trump in the White House. There's a hall with pictures of the presidents and plaques underneath their names. And the Q-tards over there, Dave with New Treason and News Treason, and Joe Rambo, the pussies, right? They'll never tell you about oral health with cannabis because they're afraid to. But they're awesome Q-tards, and they bring a lot of good information forward. And we'll take the good with the not so good. But where was I? I got sidetracked. Oh, the Q-tards and the likes of Derek Johnson, they've done a real good job of showing us that there was no Biden. Oh, the Q-tards, the hall in the White House with the pictures with the plaques. So for Biden, there's a picture of the auto pen rather than a picture of the Biden. It's a picture of the auto pen, and then you got to read the plaque underneath, and then you got to read the plaque underneath Clinton and Obama. I'm telling you, this is hysterical and apparently factual. And so these guys really do a lot of digging and bring a lot forward, and I think it's well, it's content I continue to absorb along with a lot of others. Um, but I give them kudos for their critical thinking and their analytics and their position is never to tell you what to think. It's never to tell you what to think and agree with me or blah blah blah. It's this is they're presenting the information and they're giving you their thoughts um, and um, you decide what the information is. So it's pretty it, I'm I'm gonna tell you I wish I was um, more together um, where I could be clipping and cataloging and note taking and but I'm not. And and even though I wish I was in a better position for that, I'm really glad that I'm not. So I'll explain that to you. Um, I limped my computer along with a busted hinge on the top flapper, screen that was separating, buttons that were missing, and basically a battery that pretty much needed to be plugged in all the time. Um, and I use that computer a lot. I generated a lot of documents. I used it for the social media. I used it as a filing cabinet, and it died. It died. So I haven't had use of a computer or a printer now for I think a half a year or more, half a year or more. Um, and so I'm down to, I got rid of the Wi-Fi. Um, I got rid of the internet connection. Um, and I'm strictly on cell service and with two cell phones. And and that's it. So I'm actually glad. I was thinking I listened to a video today that I'm gonna put in the comments section. It's a YouTube video. I'm gonna put it in the comments section of both YouTube and Rumble. Um, this this video is about the Tartarian bells and the frequency and the effects and the international campaign to remove these bells and the reasons why. And I want to make this point to y'all. I got to a certain point fairly early on in the talk, and I said I was ready to click and move on because my head is spinning. Um, and the content I'm taking in, I'm like, yep, 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 and I'm saying, okay, I've heard enough. I've heard enough. And then he would say something, and I'm like, Okay, I haven't heard enough yet. And I listen a little bit more, and I'd get that feeling again, like, all right, I'm ready to move on. I've heard enough. Okay. And he'd say something else. And I'm like, holy shit. And so I stuck with it right to the end. And I'm glad that I did. I am. I'm glad that I did. So I'm not believing and I'm not believing, but I'm taking in the content. And the presentation makes a lot of very specific claims that should be able to be fact checked. In fact, the video is loaded with that. That in itself um, speaks volumes to me. That speaks volumes to me. So I got a few tangents to go off on here, and now I wish I had notes so that I don't brain fart and forget. But I'll roll with it because I already one brain farted out. Um, the these bells that were confiscated by governments with the storyline that medals were needed for the war is obliterated by the narrative from the video. These bells were produced prior to 1700 and all the way back into the, I would think, early 1300s. And so apparently there were uh, those in power gained knowledge that these bells were literally the Liberty Bells, the bells of freedom, the bells of health, the bells of clarity of mind. Um, these frequencies um, were apparently felt more than heard. Um, and the word of mouth and notes from journals or diaries is that people would say that the bells made them feel human. So what they talk about is a lot of things with regards to these bells. Um, Lower blood pressure. High blood pressure goes to normal blood pressure. Uh, High cortisol levels go to low cortisol levels. Um, Sleep improves. Fear dissipates. And resistance and opposition to authoritarian rule is there. So they don't have the fear. They stand up to the authoritarian oppression. They're healthier. They have clarity of mind, and they're kind. In the areas with the bells, um, um, With the bells removed, crime goes up, alcoholism goes up, health deteriorates, communities degrade. So um, uh, this all makes this all, for lack of better Babylonian words, makes sense to me. It resonates with me. And who knows truly what they've done with the timelines and the calendars. Um, I think 13 months, again, for lack of better Babylonian words, makes perfect sense. It has the rhythm. Um, um, and then the manipulation of the history. So maybe adding 1,000 years, maybe adding 1,000 years. So what I have noticed in the last, say, 3, 4 weeks is a different type of content coming out of um, um, information on Tartaria. So I have decades of experience in building and construction and land development, and for me, I was quite intrigued when I started in on this video that was talking about the buildings and the designers and the engineers and the way that they were educated and the specifics of these buildings with regards to um, thermodynamics. The buildings and the cities apparently were built for heating and cooling. And with the use of water, so you've seen some of these World Fair pictures where you've got this magnificent city and there's this huge, call it a pool, huge pool. That was part of apparently that was part of the thermodynamics, the putting the humidity in the air, and then the way the heat was absorbed in the structures and the ventilation that would um, these ventilation shafts that would take all the heat from the buildings when it needed to be cooled, and the heat is going up and the cool air is rushing in, and to make these buildings very comfortable without air conditioning in the heat of the summer. Uh, Acoustics to where in a say like an auditorium or a classroom, the acoustics were you could be above a whisper, and it resonated throughout the entire room, the entire chamber, the entire area. Everyone could hear it clearly. Um, and that was in the design of the ceiling and the walls and such. So um, the engineering and the designing from the time of Tartaria is being brought forward, and it's fascinating stuff. So the bells are another example. Now over on my Telegram channel, I think in the last a week or two, I think I've posted 5 of these videos, this type of video, over on my Telegram channel. Um, and I didn't pin any of them, so in a couple of months they'll kind of be lost in with all the other things that I post on there. Um, as I scroll back through my Telegram channel, I've been doing this for years. Um, it's very interesting and fascinating to recall the experience of those times. Um, the processing of the narratives and the stories and such, and trying to critically think and connect the dots. So, what else? Oh yeah, oh big one. Um, and um, this would be a tough one. This would be a tough one for a lot of people to even get in on the topic and to have an open discussion because there's so much oh brainwashing, and that is religion. So um, the New Testament, the New Testament is right in line with the erasure of Tartaria. The New Testament appears to be in line with the erasure of Tartaria. And there are those that will talk in depth about the control system of the false theologies. I'm not here to make claims. Uh, um, with regards to that, I'll make statements. Um, my Bible went in a dumpster. I think I was 17 years old when I decided this needs to go. Um, I was probably a little younger than that when I decided I don't need to go to a place called a church when I know that a lot of the people who walk in there are like my parents. Live in hell. Um, 6.8 days a week. And for a couple hours, put on a face and an act to be holier than thou. So it's hell in the car on the way. The car doors open and you're in the church parking lot, and so now you're going to be different. You're going to be different. You're going to be two-faced. You're going to go in there and do all the things that they do, and then when you leave and you get back into the car and the doors close and you leave the church parking lot, oh, fucking hell breaks loose. So I decided I didn't need that shit. I didn't need that shit. To me, that wasn't being with God. Um, and so this is when I really became more spiritual and a lot less religious. So It's very interesting about the vibration of these bells that they confiscated. Apparently, they put priority on the bells that were made prior to 1700 because they were tuned. They were constructed in such a way that uh, uh, they had the qualities that they had, and so um, the knowledge for the metallurgy was critical. So a certain amount of silver, a certain amount of gold, certain temperatures for production, certain temperatures and times for the cooling process. These were all critical. These were all critical. And so the that 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 information was wiped along with the information on Tartary as it's reported. As the narrative is coming forward on this. So, uh, how true is it? How factual is it? Um, Maybe one day we'll know. But um, this is really fascinating. Um, this is really fascinating. We've heard about Nikola Tesla and energy, vibration, frequency, 369, and that's all you get, right? You don't really get any more than that, except a piece of this story and a piece of that story, and the decades go on. Well, now we have those the likes of Ashton Forbes, who are bringing us intelligence on physics, nuclear physics, aneutronic fusion, which is aneutronic means no neutrons. It has amazing capabilities um, for plasma, plasma energy, uh, direct energy conversion from the 0 point energy, spooky distance, spooky action at a distance, wormholes, teleportation, um, and it gets into replicator technology and more. And Ashton has a talent of taking physics, language, physics ease. Okay, all these words they use that we don't have comprehension of their meaning. Ashton puts it into very basic, simple terms so that we can comprehend it, so we can take it in. So a lot of energy coming forward, a lot of information coming forward on vibration, frequency, and energy. And so, as I have been paying attention, to a lot of things, and giving me a very strong leaning, very strong leaning. I mean, heavy leaning, about ready to drop right down to the ground and say, "There's no doubt um, that there is a military operation happening, a global military operation to remove the cabal slave system, the predatory system." And um, there's two guys that are saying some things that I want to tie in here. So Juan '07, Mr. 107, Juanito, Juanito, Juanito. Um, this is a guy who is a guest on platform after platform after platform after platform after platform. Uh, appears to be highly respected, and I have yet to see evidence of him being discredited. However, recently in a talk on one of these Q-tard talks, one of the guys, and I gotta paraphrase here, um, rattled off a couple names. I mean, talking about who to believe and not believe, and right. I mean, these guys are stuck on belief. They're always talking about believing, right? So who to believe, who not to believe, blah blah blah, and started rattling off some names. And one of the names that came up was Juan '07. And what this guy said was discredited. It talked about all these people, the names he was rattling off. Juan was one of them, and said discredited. But what he clarified to a degree what he was saying about Juan is he said Juan mostly right, but discredited. And I don't know where Juan was discredited. I don't know what Juan did or what Juan said that would be a falsehood. Other than, I mean, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things because he talks about Trump um, one way, but from time to time he will say Trump is a military operation. Trump is the face of the military operation. So occasionally Juanito will say it that way. So um, there's a lot of uh, false narrative that comes out of Juan, and he's a weaver, he's a storyteller. But when it comes to making claims about future events, time and time and time and time and time again, old Juanito is on the mark. He's on the mark. And one thing that he has been saying repeatedly to audience after audience after audience is that America will experience America will have a near death experience. So, um, he also says that there will not be a civil war, but there will be civil unrest. So, if one is right, if he's right with the narrative that he's bringing, that there will not be civil war, but there will be civil unrest, um, we will see. Now, Rusty, in a recent video, I'm confident it's a YouTube short. It's a YouTube short. He talks. He's In a way, he's given advice, and so he says if this thing goes kinetic, he says be prepared. Be prepared in case things get kinetic. Network with your neighbors. Have a water supply. Have a food supply. Be positioned to take care of you, to keep yourself safe, keep your loved ones safe. So, in another recent video, I gotta close the door. Wood stove is not putting out much heat, and it's wintertime out there. We got freezing rain happening. Trees are getting heavy, and we got a cyclone storm gonna hit. They're saying 1 a.m. 1 a.m. And go for 24 hours. So, looks like we're going to get a heap of snow here. So at any rate, Rusty is actually talking about if things go connect. Now, in another video recently, Rusty talked about the paperwork he put into the Pentagon, and he shows the paperwork. And he's calling all U.S. military home. And I'm not sure if I think it's 4 phases: 35%, then another 35% in phase two, then 15% in phase three, and 15% in phase four. I think that was the math. And he said, if you can't bring it home, destroy it. And with direction to come home and protect our borders, the American borders, and keep the American people safe. So I find that quite fascinating that this happens right in the same time period as the Supreme Court says that the Trump can't deploy the National Guard unless regular forces have failed. Ah, goodness. And so another thing that Juan 107 has been very repetitive on is with his talk about a near-death experience for America's 14 cities being lost. And in a recent talk, Juan gave some clarification of that. And so essentially, my take on it is that there's 14 cities that are trying to give protective services to illegal immigrants and terrorists. So while this apparent massive deportation is happening, reportedly 1 million have self-deported because of the penalties that they would face. They would never be able to come back. So maybe they've been here 20 years, 30 years, and they got property. They got kids in college. They've built their lives here, and they want to be here. But if they get deported through the fiction fuckery that's going on, apparently they can't come back. But if they self-deport, they'll have the ability to come back. This is the narrative that's being put out there. So to me, it is it's certainly being shown the activity of the ICE agents and the raids and the narrative in the mainstream and alt media shining light on this. So that those dots are connecting. That uh, these cities would be magnets to all these people because strength in numbers, right? And they feel like they're protected. You know, you can have your fuckery here. You know, we'll give you your free food. We'll give you free money. We'll give you free phone. We'll give you free housing. Just be here and fuck up America, okay? Uh, um, so, uh, uh, um, well, all the British agents are trying to say what's legal, what's not legal, what's constitutional. They don't even know. What are they talking? What constitution are they talking? What jurisdiction are they talking? You know, the British got to go. So five people here now. Got a couple more comments. Say most of the time, note taking is just a mental exercise. Eventually, you don't need to look back at them. Why'd you have to get rid of internet? Is it the economy? No. All right. So when I first came out here over a decade ago, I could not make a cell phone call on the property. I would have to leave and find a place that had signal to make a call. So there was no. Uh, I don't know that there was internet available here at the time. There might have been, but I didn't know about it. So my best option at that time was to go with a satellite. So I had internet by satellite, and and that's a pain in the ass. That dish gets all covered with snow. You got to get up on the roof and clean the dish. And it certainly was nowhere near a hardwire connection. Eventually, a company here, Centec, made service available, and that's copper wire. That's copper wire, and so that's very limited. But it gave me Wi-Fi assist for calling, so I was able to make phone calls. But the Wi-Fi needed to be plugged in. Um, so the Wi-Fi was pretty much plugged in 24/7, 365. And um, and here, sometime late summer, early fall, I was having trouble doing live streams. The the picture was very fuzzy. Sometimes we'd lose connection. The screen would go blank. Audio would cut in and out. And and a Centec, my internet provider, did everything they could, but still not enough signal strength for me to be able to do these lives. And um, so I got started to get frustrated, and there's no Centec is in process of cable, fiber optic for the area. Great Lakes Energy, their TrueStream is in the process of bringing fiber optic here. I think Charter is in the process of bringing fiber optic here. You got a whole slew of them in the process of bringing fiber optic here, but it's not here. And I had noticed that sometime, say like 4 or 5 months ago, all of a sudden I'd be away from the Wi-Fi signal, and I'd have the cell phone in my hand, and the phone would ring, and I'd have phone conversations. So I learned something changed, and I thought it was because of all the trees that I cleared. But no, they put Verizon put a cell phone tower up that was giving me the signal strength, but it was not enough to do a live stream. My phone would get super hot. The quality was not good. So I started thinking, investigating, researching, and ultimately I bought a cell phone signal booster. And so I left the mount for the satellite dish up there. I took the dish off. I used the mount on the roof. I put a pole in, I don't know, 15 feet, something like that, and pointed that device towards the tower. So that's what I'm using right now. Um, so I got this little thing over here that I only plug in to do the live streams. Otherwise, I can watch Rumble, I can watch YouTube, I can upload videos, I can download videos. I can pretty much do everything I need to do with regards to internet activity using my unlimited Verizon service. And so before I went live, I turned on the hotspot, and then I turned on this device in case I wanted to use it. Like if I wanted to check the stream on YouTube or Rumble to see is it good or not. But since we had somebody in the chat making comments and not making a complaint about the video quality or whatnot, I kept going. So at any rate, that's why I don't have the internet, and I am sleeping better. I'm sleeping better not having the Wi-Fi. That became apparent almost immediately. So where my typical sleeps would be 3 hours and 4 hours, I'm sleeping 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours. Um, so I'm glad to have the Wi-Fi gone. This the Wi-Fi was costing me like $55 a month. This device was under 400, and so it's paid for. And so sometime around um, March, I'm at a break even point, but I'm already benefiting from better sleep, which probably means better health. Um, I've got the signal strength that I need to do the live streaming, and so that that's where it is. Um, and I really don't have a need to be creating paperwork these days. I think when it's time that all of my cases can be finalized in military tribunals, um, that'll be the time that I'll be looking for a little bit of upgrade on the equipment that I have. So let's see, and then yeah, with regards to keeping notes, um, it does turn into a bunch of piles. Uh, and then where's your note, right? So um, back in the day, I had two offices in the house. I had a room up over the garage, and I put floor trusses in when I built that house. I put floor trusses in over the garage, so I could have no beams, no stanchions in the garage, but I still could have my billiard table up in my office. And I had a beautiful executive desk that I built. I had file cabinets and the computer and the printer and all the staplers and on and on and on. And then down in the basement, I had another office. I had another office off of the furnace room, and it was a walkout basement. And again, computer, desk, file cabinets, and but I don't have that now. I'm in 300 square feet. I don't have room for a file cabinet or a desk. I was my computer was spent most of its time on a 5 gallon bucket on the stove. Um, so at any rate, um, I feel really good about what I see happening in a global military operation. And I was, oh yeah, I was driving towards a point I haven't made yet. So with a near death experience for America in that situation, in that theater, um, with civil unrest and kinetic activity. Um, I've been pondering on the different aspects of this, and one of the aspects was at some point it will be like Hillary said when Hillary said, "If the people knew, we wouldn't be able to walk down the streets." So once the masses have been awakened from their coma and they comprehend the predatory practices that have been applied in usury and fuckery and manipulation, um, there will be a lot of people that go through a period of rage. They will want to be part of the blood feud. They will want satisfaction. They will want satisfaction. And if weaponization has been done with sleeper cells, and sleeper cells get activated because there's narrative out there that the deep state wants the Civil War. But how do we survive a civil war? How do we survive a civil war? So, to collapse the Babylonian predatory slave system without a void, without the mass casualties, without the mass chaos. Um, very, very thought out plans should have been put in place. And so I speculated here a couple weeks ago in a talk about the love vibration, that the love vibration could be broadcast and emanated around the globe, around the planet, around the realm, the territory, whatever Babylonian phrase you want to use. Um, and after listening to this talk about the bells, that really reinforces it with me. What was said with regards to these bells. One of the things that was said was that after the bell quit ringing, the people would stand there for like up to 2 minutes and not say a word. Um, it's a feeling of peace. It gives clarity of mind and makes you feel human. Makes you want to do good. Makes you want to be good to your neighbor, to your brothers and your sisters. And so this technology was known in the 1300s. Now, we don't know the calendar manipulation, dates, whatever. So we can only go with the what we have in our consciousness. Um, so a long, long fucking time ago. How's that? A long, long fucking time ago. These guys, they comprehended the positive effects of the vibration because it's also for health. It's also for health. Low blood pressure, low cortisol, and probably molecular structure. Um, so I feel good. I do. I feel good about what I see happening. And when I heard the Supreme Court, which is, according to Rusty, irrelevant, and tell the Trump, who is irrelevant because it's all fiction, um, can't put the National Guard into Illinois until after the regular forces fail to get the job done. Bring in the reinforcements, right? So I got a feeling that the all the different special forces will be able to handle things handily, handily. So things really seem to be coming to a head. I mean, silver is at a point where central banks are fucked. The bond issues, central banks are fucked. And anybody worrying about repaying the debt, it's all fucking fraud. There's no lawful legal or reasonable reason why whatever $37,000 debt of the fucking rogue United States owes to these fucking parasitic invading slave master fucking fox. But all the real wealth that they have stolen, all the precious metals, all the artwork, all the relics, antique relics that would be valuable, property. That's all getting confiscated, getting taken back. And Rico, oh my God, Rico fucking, ooh, what a reach. 600,000 sealed indictments. Giddy up. That's what I say. Giddy up. Bring it on. So the psychological operation seems to be in full swing. I'm not fearing it. I'm feeling 114 hertz. So apparently 105 to 130 hertz is the range of those bells that were targeted for confiscation, and that was for control. That was to make the people less healthy, to make them fearful, to make them fight with each other, and to follow the authoritarian commands. 6 people here now. 515 DSM says hi, hello. And Lady Subog says this line reminds me of Clint Eastwood. Laugh out loud. I don't know if you're talking about the thumbnail on the video or me. But at any rate, I'm glad you're here. And as I said, if you missed the beginning, respect. You're listening to me. That means you're brave, and that means that you are intelligent. And so I hope you found this talk 114 hertz. That's what I say. All right, everybody. I love you. I will be back soon enough. I don't know if it'll be before the storm, which is let's see, it's going on 5 o'clock. So 6, 7, 8 hours from now, the cyclone bomb is supposed to hit here in northern Michigan. 45-mile-an-hour winds, heavy snow, and 24 hours of it. So we'll see what we get. I'll check the chat one last time. Okay, that's it. All right, everybody. Hope you have a great day.